Dire Troll Blitzer. Dire Troll Blitzer's impossible creation plucked from desperate Trollkin imagination. Strains crudelity. When King Leto granted surplus Signarin weapons to Chief Ironhide, the king could have never anticipated their ultimate application atop live siege engines. In what was undoubtedly an episode of drunken bravado among Trollkin warriors, a rapid-fire slugger cannon was strapped to the back of a slumbering Dire Troll. The combination of firearms and Dire Trolls held obvious merit as a siege engine able to bound across the field towards its enemies. The final obstacle was overcome by chaining the Trollkin's arms to keep it from reaching over its head and grabbing the pygmy troll ace operating a cannon and gobbling it up. Pigs have embraced this configuration with surprising enthusiasm and consider their aces inviolable heroes. Pigs have always enjoyed the unusual affinity with Dire Trolls, insofar as the creature can endure the towering beasts, and the trolls appear to return this in regard. That is, Dire Trolls generally seem to enjoy the company of their diminutive cousins, and generally will not eat them unless there is no other food available. And the strapping of a machine gun on the back of a Dire Troll and then just chaining his arms so he can't reach up and snag him is kind of awful, actually, if you think about it. It sounds like a very dangerous game of cat and mouse when the mouse is hiding on the cat's head and the cat doesn't realize it. Of course, I imagine the Dire Trolls do realize there is a guy with a machine gun on his back shooting at enemies around him, but maybe he just maybe he enjoys it. One can crush into the enemy, the other can shoot into it. Saves probably a lot of issues and gives Trollkin a lot of necessary firepower for ranged weapons at least. But let's read over his Mark III to Mark IV changes and see if there is any. And of course, as always, we will start with his stat line. So he is a Dire Troll Blitzer, a Speed 5, Mat 6, Rat 6, so his Rat actually went up 1, so it's a little bit more better than it was before. It is better than it was before. His defense is 12, his arm is 18, he is a Fury 4. He has the ability to slam, trample, and headbutt. He is a gunfighter, which allows him to shoot out of melee. So if the Dire Troll is in melee attacks, the pig can shoot people outside of that melee range. So that's a very useful spell. He also has dual attack, so he can make ranged and melee attacks during the same activation. And as per usual for Dire Trolls, he has regeneration, so he can be forced to heal D3 damage points from himself once per activation. He also has the snacking special ability, so if he kills a living model with a melee attack, he can eat them and heal another at D3. We lost some abilities on here as well. We no longer have Shooting Gallery. Unfortunately, I guess Shooting Gallery was seen as a little bit too OP for this guy. Shooting Gallery used to give a +2 to range attack rolls against models within 5 inches of him. I imagine because they increased Rat, maybe they just kind of split the difference. That's why they gave him a Rat 6 instead of a Rat 4, like he had previously. That could be it. His weapons are a Slugger, so that is a Rat 6, range 10, rate of fire D3, so you can shoot more, you can shoot less. And I've seen Slugger weapons with the Slugger crews do some devastating damage to Warjacks, Warjacks, I said it right. Warjacks on the field of battle, and these are heavy Warjacks, so sometimes these guys just can shear off metal like no one's business. And not only that, but with him, he also has the other gunfighter ability, because there's one that can shoot out of melee, and there's one that can shoot things you're in melee with, and he has both. So he can shoot out of melee, he can shoot in melee without suffering any kind of negative effects. So makes it very, very useful for that, and gives him a bunch of additional attacks if he's going up against a particularly hard melee target. His melee weapons include his claws, because, well, he's a Dire Troll Mauler, and I imagine they didn't give him weapons since he already has a weapon on his back. His claws are a Mat 6, range 1, POW 15s, so it's still a pretty significant swinger on here. And his animus include Irresistible Force. The spellcaster gains Bulldoze. Irresistible Force lasts for 1 round. When a model with Bulldoze is base to base with an enemy model during its normal movement, it can push that model up to 2 inches directly away from it. A model can be pushed by Bulldoze only once per turn. Bulldoze has no effect when a model makes a trample power attack, so that is the same. Basically, outside of the Shooting Gallery being removed, This guy is exactly the same as he was before. Still has all his dual attacks, still has all his fun stuff. He just has the ability now to shoot into melee without suffering any kind of ill effects, and then he can shoot out of melee at his choosing. So yeah, he is a very good range guy, especially if you're running a ranged specific army. You want to have one of these Dire Trolls in your retinue. So, but